Welcome back to Off the Monstah. My name is Derek. I'm here with Jeremy and Mr. Brown. We got some things to talk about, some things we want to get off our chest, but we've got to cover this Red Sox series against the Yankees that didn't go so well. The Red Sox lost in extras in game 1, 7-6. They lost in the second game 5-3. But hey, they're not going to make the playoffs anyways. Might as well tank for a better draft pick, right? We all know how it works. Who wants to go first? Give their thoughts on a not fun series.
Well,
It's
I'll
all
jump in on
horrible.
this one.
But you go, Jeremy. You
All
weren't
right.
here last week. We
All
missed
right,
your
yeah.
voice.
I missed it. So the Yankee series, I guess before it started, I was looking at this as okay, if we win, this just kind of makes me feel better for next year. Like, you know what, we got some pieces because I knew Bayo was going, and of course Cassis and everything. I'm like, all right, if we can put together a good series here, win it, like I'm gonna feel okay. I'm not sitting here saying okay, playoffs and stuff like that. And they just didn't do it. Like they need it, and it's the season. It's been this way all season, right? They're inconsistent, and when you really need them to do something, they hide. It when you're like at that moment, you're like, okay, if we get a hit here, if we get a big out or something like that, we can kind of keep this thing rolling. And then just something happens, and it's like, nope, we're not doing it this time. Um, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that next year we're going to have the same team. Not by any means. From what I've seen from Cassis and Bayo, and honestly, I hope Duran spends now that he's got some time down in the minors and he kind of works through some of his stuff in his head.
He's still home
There's
tonight.
still potential there, right?
He's still home tonight.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we still have a lot of stuff there that can roll into next year. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Yankee series is, that's it. We're not going to be any good for 10 years and turn this place into a parking lot and all that fun stuff. But Jeff, I'll throw it over to you. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you know what? The pitching staff was good from the starting pitching perspective. I thought Pivetta looked good again. Bayo, kid's a stud. Unfortunately, he can't get through that third time through the lineup. I'm not even sure if he made it through the third time in the lineup. He didn't even have, I don't think he even had his stuff the way we've seen him in the last two outings, and he still looked good. That's what made me think, okay, we can maybe pull a game or two out of here. Didn't happen because once you got into the bullpen, you knew it was over because there's no symmetry to the bullpen of who's coming out. I'm clueless of what is going on in Cora's head these days about where he's gonna be pulling in. And I get it, it's thin. Guys are injured, but if these guys don't know when, okay, I'm coming in the sixth, I'm coming in the seventh, every other team, I'm going to this guy in the eighth, I'm going to this guy in the ninth. Obviously, we never got to that point because we never had the lead in the late innings, but the potential was there. We had the game, the first game, I think, in my mind. And, well, remind me again who we brought in and blew that game wide open.
It was Jarius Familia, but I think there's a different situation with that game because you had the seventh planned, you had the eighth planned, you had the ninth planned, but by the time the ninth was over, you go in the 10th. I think you're just kind of running out of guys. They don't have enough guys right now.
And
That's
I didn't
where they could have
understand why
used
they had
help.
Familia in there. I was throwing it out there. I knew who it was, but
Yeah,
obviously they were packing the guy's bags as he was on the mound.
They're having him pitch for his job.
Yeah, he is an old timer who would say he looked as nervous as a cat with 1,000 tails in a, what do you call it? What do you call those chairs that go back and forth?
A rocking chair.
In a rocking chair store.
Yep.
He looked petrified out there. He didn't look like he was ready to take on that, and he hasn't proved in the few outings that he's been with the Red Sox that he could do that. So positives, the pitching staff was fantastic. Cassis, who we knew was going to come out of it. And how many 3-2 bats has that kid had? He has great presence at the plate.
A great approach.
Great approach at the plate.
Yeah, yes. you cannot teach that.
People are like, oh, he's like Dahlbach. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he might strike out against lefties, but who doesn't lefty on lefty? And that home run just sealed it for me that this kid is going to be a stud. And the future, like you said, Jeremy, is here to say it's coming, and we know it's coming, but we need more pitching.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? I mean, we need pitching. I think being healthy would help that a lot, honestly. It would have
Not
been
getting
nice.
hit in the hand.
Yeah, like it's like we've had hand gate, we had hip gate, we're like it's all these different injuries, and it's all the same injuries, and it's like a group
Just
of
wrap
3 or
sail
4
and bubble
guys.
wrap at this
Like,
point.
well, it's like here's the thing. It's like that 10th inning would have been perfect. We have Matt Strom, or we still have Tanner Houck available. Or if you had Houck, maybe use Houck in the 9th inning. We have Matt Barnes for the 10th.
Or
But
Whitlock.
yeah,
I mean,
or do something. You have something extra. But you got to go Brazier in the 5th inning or the 6th inning, whatever it was. Then you go like Schreiber, Whitlock, Barnes, which okay, that makes sense considering where your bullpen is right now. But they don't have enough guys for the extra innings. You look at the good teams and that are good in extra innings, their bullpens are just one guy after another, just solid guys that can get out. And the Red Sox are lacking. As I said it the whole year, they need middle relief.
yeah,
Like
I hate to admit it, but the
they have the
Yankees
best.
bullpen is lights out.
Well,
I mean, it's sensational.
Their bullpen has their fair share of injuries and guys going in a little up and downs. Clay Holmes seems like he's coming back, but this isn't the Clay Holmes of the first half, though. But like it's like you look at the Rays, and I love using the Rays as an example because if they can do it with a low budget, there's no reason you can't add on to it with a high budget, right? Because what they're so good at is having depth. And you look at their bullpen every single year, it's just one guy after another, after another, after another. And they aren't just chucking 10 million in free agency at all these guys. It's their scouting department, it's their player development, it's all that stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And that's why the Rays are so good, especially with the bullpen. You look at the Braves right now and look at their bullpen when they're all healthy and they're all rolling. Like that's a stupidly deep bullpen. Now that's a little bit more of getting guys in free agency and trading for some guys, but like that's a super deep bullpen if everyone's going, and that's why those teams are good. And that's why the Yankees were so good in that first half. They had that deep bullpen in the first half.
I could spend an hour venting on the player development in the Red Sox farm system. And there's great prospects down there, but I don't think we developed as well as we probably could. And
it's getting better,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's getting better.
I agree.
Like I said, I could vent on it, but I'm sure we can vent later on something else.
Right. I won't vent with that, but I will say I think we're on the path. I think we're on the right path to player development that we didn't have before. And you know what? That's what we're paying for right now. But you see these young guys coming up. There is some development there. It's a lot of natural talent because they were high draft picks, but you can see some development there. So we'll see.
Player development's Brian Bayo. He's a player development guy. Signed for 28,000, and look what he's doing now. That's a player development guy. That's not a guy that you went out and paid like $5 million as a 16-year-old. He was signed as an 18-year-old for 28,000, not a 16-year-old. So that's like true. That's a true player development story. And the Red Sox, when's the last time they've had an elite pitching prospect with hype behind him? What, John Lester, Clay Buck? I mean, maybe like Henry Owens, but like ones that's actually panned out.
Yeah, I'd say Lester because Buchholz never panned out.
Yeah, well,
he had the no-hitter in his first
I wouldn't
year.
say he didn't pan out. He didn't reach a ceiling.
He had an okay career. Buchholz did. It was okay, but it wasn't the hype. He didn't
it wasn't the hype. I would say that he panned out. He just didn't reach a ceiling. You get what I mean?
Buchholz would not be around next year if he was still in his prime, considering the time that you have to deal to the plate. Oh man, he was a human rain delay.
Yeah, I think though, when you're looking at the Red Sox farm system, and that's where a lot of the positives are coming from this year. It's a bright spot to see because after Dombrowski traded away our whole farm system to win a World Series, like you remember that 2019 trade deadline. Who was our guy that we added at the deadline? Anyone remember?
Oh, man.
Andrew Kashner.
Yes.
That was your your big trade deadline acquisition.
That was a big splash.
That was your big splash. The guy who had like what, a 4-something or like a 5 ERA that year or whatever it was. Like
Speaking of not panning out, there you go.
I think that like here's the thing, like that's why you bring in Hein Bloom, right? You know, you bring in a guy, hopefully get your player development back on a track where it should be, get it towards that right track. You know, that's get guys where you see kind of his philosophy when it comes to scouting and drafting, where yeah, he's not fully in charge of those guys, but everything runs through him. You know, he's still the guy, the main guy. Everything runs through him. You know, you see it with the drafting of these shortstops early in the draft. You're not just, yeah, you could say, oh, they can't all play shortstop. No, they can't eventually all play shortstop, but they're pieces, whether you trade them, whether you can move them somewhere else, whether you stick with them at short, whatever happens, you're picking them because of the tools they have. And you're kind of seeing an approach to drafting and player development and bringing guys up through the minors. You're seeing a true approach there, which I think is kind of a bright spot where we haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of good points, and I'm not 100% sold that Hein Bloom is going to really, turn things around. I'm still very skeptical on his deadline deals, his free agency signings. Those, I think, that's the jury's out on that, and it depends, on how he is. If player development's great, but we're the Boston Red Sox. We're not supposed to develop players like the Rays do. Like we develop, and we can go get whoever we want. We can be more like the Dodgers and get those guys, and that's what I hope we get to. So
yeah,
but
the jury's not going to be up for very long, though.
I'm
gonna say the deadlines are coming.
Yeah,
Xander needs to be paid. Devers needs to be paid. If one or two of those people, or if both of them are not paid, oof, he's done in Boston.
We'll get to the offseason priorities in a little bit, but yeah, that is something that we will talk about.
The media will crucify him. We'll crucify him, damn it.
Yeah,
right, I think we need to give Stats the floor here because he wanted to say a little something about Jon Heyman.
Get a little something, yeah. Get that off your chest, Stats. Yeah.
All right, so
I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this one.
Yeah, well, there's a decent amount of people that drive me a little crazy on baseball Twitter. One of them is Jon Heyman. I cannot stand Jon Heyman. Jon Heyman to me is just like the epitome of we do not care. Like we do not care. Like shut it. Like go somewhere else. Like a couple of days ago, someone tweeted out, one of I guess the Yankees beat writers or something tweeted out, Tyler Wade is here as part of the taxi squad per Aaron Boone. So Jon Heyman just goes out on his high horse and has to tweet out, presumably no longer trying to convince Judge to go to the Angels now. Tough sell. No one cares, dude. Shut up. Like, we don't care. Like, leave it be. Like, no one needs your input on it. Or this is what I can't stand. We're not going to get into the MVP debate. But I don't care who wins it. My only gripe is, can we not normalize what Judge or Ohtani is doing? It's not normal. I know it's Ohtani's second year of doing it. It's still not normal. What Judge is doing is not normal, and we shouldn't normalize one or the other for, in our case, to say we think this guy should be the MVP. Jon Heyman, on the 13th, tweets out, Judge is on pace to become the third active player with a 10 more season, joining Trout and Betts, and to break Roger Maris's home run mark. Yet someone else should be MVP. Come on. Like, dude. Like, you're just discrediting everything Shohei Ohtani does. And then to add on top of that, today, he goes out and tweets what I was like, okay, I'm going to lose my mind. 6 hours ago, he tweeted out a picture that the Yes Network put up with Aaron Judge was hitting yesterday, where it shows he's first in all the different offensive categories. And Heyman just got to tweet out, it's unanimous here, and so should the AL MVP voting be this year. I'm like, dude, like, just shut up. It's like, I don't care that you think Judge should be the MVP. But unanimous I think unanimous is a little far, one. Two, can we not discredit what Shohei is doing? Because what he's doing is something we've literally never seen before. And that's what makes me lose my mind. It's like, dude, it's like you're not here to just share your opinion for everyone. No one cares about your opinion. The only reason we're following you is because you occasionally break news. But 99% of the time, you have to tweet it out and go, per Jeff Passan first on it, or whoever the heck was first on it, you gotta tweet about it. Just copying everyone over here. And it's like, guys, it's like, Heyman, come on. Stop it. Stop it. You piss me off. So and now because and now he works for the New York Post. And so he retweets everything they retweet and goes, especially when it's about the Yankees or Aaron Judge, and goes, oh well, this guy's obviously the MVP, and he shuts down anyone who says otherwise. So for example,
he works for a newspaper that I use for my cat's kitty litter box.
So Danny Vietti, who works for CBS Sports, and he also is host of the Wake and Rake podcast, which I'm pretty sure has Will Middlebrooks on it as well.
I love Will Middlebrooks.
Yeah. So Vietti comments on the post that Heyman put about Judge and being unanimous MVP. It said, "Game screenshots are a great play on social media. Blah 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 blah. Yes Network, clearly chose these categories. It's not including stuff that Shohei does, and it's like." Aaron Judge might be the MVP, but the graphic doesn't tell the whole story. And then Heyman just goes and gets all defensive about it, like, oh my God, don't you dare disrespect me. He goes, right, Danny, he doesn't lead the lead in stolen base attempts. In stolen bases, they use only the most important offensive categories. Dude,
there's a term we used to use in the military. It's called useful idiot. You might think of Joe Biden as a useful idiot. John Heyman is a useful idiot. My person I want to vent on, Brian Kenny, is the ultimate useful idiot. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with stats on this because this guy gets on MLB Network almost every night and spouts off this crap out of his mouth like he knows what he's talking about. Then he has to ask guys like, what does actually OPS stand for?
OPS plus or weighted runs created plus.
Exactly. It's like
BABIP.
The sabermetrics tell me this. I'm like, dude, you have never picked up a bat in your life. You love guys who have never actually sweated in sports. Well, maybe sports briefs, but actual sports. And they sit up there, they're the talking heads. That's what drives me nuts. And that's why I'm so happy there are podcasts out there, because we're not talking heads. I guarantee all of us have played sports throughout our lives, whether it was baseball, hockey, tennis, I don't care, table tennis, something along the line. Brian Kenny, he just goes on TV to spout something just to get ratings. And I get that's what you're supposed to do, but you don't have to look like an idiot while you're doing it.
He's like Stephen A. Smith if Stephen A. Smith didn't have hot takes and was boring as could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I guess
Jeremy, you want to top that one?
You know what? I don't think I can top it because mine is. I'll put it this way: I'm pretty sure I'm in the majority here when I say Bob Nightingale just drives me nuts. Because who doesn't Bob Nightingale drive nuts?
Boob.
Right. Boob. Yeah. Boob. Right. We all know the Trevor Bauer to the Mets thing, but he's also been totally off on deadline deals. He has been way off on numbers for contracts. He is the only thing I will say is if it's White Sox news, then yeah, because he's got an in with the ownership there, but that's about it. And, also too, I think some of his information coming from the White Sox is them to try to drive up numbers or whatever. So they just tell him to go out and do it. He's like, oh yeah, it's this. And he's, dead wrong. But then, what consequences does he have? But that's where I'm going. But he drives a lot of people nuts. I mean, I would have to sit down and think of somebody else, but I follow him on Twitter just for the comedy.
The reason why we have these three fools we're talking about is we had a great commentator, a great sports writer in Peter Gammons that did it for decades. He was phenomenal in what he did. He had fantastic contacts, but unfortunately he did not walk away when he should have. I don't know if anybody follows his Twitter, but it's bad. It's almost like a 95-year-old dementia in a retired home. Come on. Who's really
the old man yelling at the sky now?
Yeah. Cats are dangerous.
Yeah, it's right. I think too. Also too, I think some Bob Nightingale's if you have something that you want to be leaked, like if you're a team or an agent and you want something to be leaked, you're going to Bob Nightingale because he tweets out everything he gets. Some guys like passing, a team will tell them like, hey, like they trust them. They'll say, hey, here's this piece of information. We're working on something. Don't tweet it out. We'll let you know when you have the go ahead to tweet it out. And Passon will wait until it's good, and he'll tweet it out like 2 minutes before everyone else. Bob Nightingale will tweet stuff out the minute he hears it, like 2 days before anyone else tweets it out, and then he gets it wrong.
He's like Ron Burgundy reading the teleprompter. You can't put the question mark on there.
Fuck you, San Diego. Sorry, I know this is a kids show.
Oh, we can
If
edit
you haven't
that.
seen Anchorman, you shouldn't be watching this anyway.
Right.
You don't get our comedy relief.
We know you 10-year-old kids say F-bombs anyways. You're not gonna die.
All right. Yeah, save us stats. I know you got some stats and chats up to that hat.
Oh, I 100% do. I do. All right. So this stat means absolutely nothing. However, it is a stat However, it is a stat I look for every single year because it is the most fascinating stat to look at for me, and to see where people rank on this leaderboard. There's one for the hitters and one for the pitchers. Does anyone want to try and guess what the stat is?
Hot dogs eaten per inning.
No, because Joey Chestnut would absolutely demolish that record.
Time spent in the batting cage.
No, this is a timed stat though. The stat is the average home run trot.
In time?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good. I like where this is going.
This is like taking a bet on how long the national anthem is for the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Are we doing all time? Because I think Sammy Sosa has to be in there somewhere.
No, we're just doing 2022. They started tracking this in 2019. At least that I know of.
I'm gonna say number one is Pujols, and not because he does it on purpose, because he's just slow.
No, it's not Pujols.
And he's 90 years old.
Nope, it is not Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols is not in the top 40.
Any guesses, Jeremy?
All right.
It's a superstar. Number one is a superstar player. I'll give you that.
Well, you're saying superstar player, so first thing I'm going is Trout.
Nope.
I would have went Judge.
Nope.
Wow.
Plays in the National League. I'll give you each one more guess.
Atlanta?
Yep.
Acuna.
100%.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna Jr. leads the MLB in average home run trot with an average home run trot time of 29.3 seconds.
Holy crap.
Where's Tatis? Where's Tatis in there?
Who?
Well, yeah, this year.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
He's not on the leaderboard.
I was going to say...
It's 2022.
That's right. He's been injured all year.
I was going to say Juan Soto might be up there, but he's not hitting anymore in San Diego, so he probably fell out.
He's not in the top 50. I'm not going to look through the whole list. So the top five...
There's nobody from the Red Sox because they don't hit home runs.
No, there's 2 Red Sox in the top 6.
Holy crap. Oh. Okay. All right. We have to try to guess that.
There are 2 Red Sox in the top 6, and they're both everyday players. Not Bogarts.
Oh.
Not Devers.
Devers is 1.
Yeah, because he's just slow.
JD?
No, JD actually.
JD doesn't hit a home run since I had. Well, never mind.
No,
I'm not gonna finish that statement.
It's not JD.
JD,
JD's not in the top 50.
And
this is for slowest home run trot. He's not in the top 50.
Devers.
Plays outfield.
Verdugo.
Yep.
Oh.
So Acuna is first.
He's a showman.
Acuna is first at 29.3 seconds. Jesus Sanchez of the Marlins is second with 28.9 seconds. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Rafael Devers are tied for third at 28.7 seconds.
See, those two I can see because those who just don't want to run fast, they don't have to run fast. They're big dudes.
Yeah. Marcell Ozuna is 5th with a 28.2 second average home run trot. Alex Verdugo is 6th with an average home run trot at 28.1 seconds.
You know, I'm very curious to see what Manny Ramirez was. He's got to be one of the all-time. Has to be.
Yeah. Well, you want to know where JD Martinez ranks?
Yeah.
So there's 319 hitters that have hit 5 or more home runs this year.
He's probably 120.
Just barely.
JD Martinez has the 194 tied for the 194th slowest average home run trot.
Wow.
Not bad.
So so it's actually the 118th fastest, tied for 118th fastest.
So what's the opposite of that with pitching?
Well, we're gonna get to who has the fastest home run trot in the MLB. Fastest home run trot at 17. Fastest average home run trot at 17.5 seconds is Sam Haggerty of the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, I would not have got that.
No.
Then second is Brett Phillips with an 18.8 second average home run trot.
That I can see.
Willie Castro from the Tigers is third with a 19.1 seconds. And tied for fourth is Tyler O'Neill and Brandon Nimmo at 19.3 seconds.
Man.
Who has the fastest home run trot from the Boston Red Sox?
Kiki.
Nope. Hint, he's not on the big league team anymore.
Duran.
No.
Oh.
Story.
Dahlbeck?
Bobby Dahlbeck at 21.5 seconds.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. I wouldn't have thought he'd been that fast.
Yeah.
Duran is at 21.5 seconds, but he doesn't qualify because I have the. Well, he does. He technically has it set, but I put the minimum of 5 home runs, so it wouldn't be like 600 hitters.
Right.
So yeah.
I am curious. Where's Story at?
Trevor Story. I don't know where he is actually.
Not that it makes a difference, because again, it's a useless stat. But now I'm fascinated. Now I know what I'm doing this off-season stats thing.
Right there, Brian Kenny.
I'll send you the link to the leaderboard for it. It's actually like something I look at. It's
my sabermetrics are the most important things in the world.
No, it's just like this is literally though just like a fun stat to look at.
Yes,
like that's the thing. Trevor Story's average home run trot is 23.7 seconds, so slower than JD Martinez.
Wow.
All right, now we're going to head to the pitching side of it. The Red Sox have 2 in the top 5 for longest average home run trot against.
Oh, Chris Sale.
No, they're both.
Oh, no, he hasn't pitched this year. What am I thinking?
No, they're both relief pitchers.
Yeah.
Brazier?
Yeah.
He's one.
Yep.
Barnes. No.
No, Barnes hasn't been around enough. Whitlock?
I'll just get. No, you probably won't guess it. Oh, it'll be a long time till you guess it.
Uka Japanese guy.
No, it's Tyler Danish.
Oh, yeah, I would have never gotten that.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have never gotten that.
So the pitcher who has the longest average home run trot against is Andres Machado of the Nationals at 27 seconds. So he has to watch the runner go around the bases at an average of 27 seconds whenever he gives up a home run.
All right, so the flip side of that, how many home runs has he given up? Because I really want to know that.
He's given up 6.
So 6 times he's had to watch the. Oh my god!
Tyler Danish is second at 26.8 seconds. Tanner Rainey is tied for third with 26.5 seconds. Tied for third with them is Sonny Gray at 26.5 seconds, and he's given up 10 home runs. And Ryan Brazier is fifth at 26.3 seconds on 8 home runs given up.
Oh my god!
So I had to watch someone go around the base. Oh, here's a fun one. Garrett Cole has given up 27 home runs.
Really?
He's tied for 31st with average home run trot time against at 25 seconds.
Would you have guessed 27 home runs off of him this year? I would not
Yeah,
have guessed
yeah, he
that.
gives up 2 home runs every time he faces the Red Sox.
Well, yeah, that's
That's true, but
And I got to be honest, though. I would love to see Devers hit one and then just take like 5 minutes. Just stroll around the base,
Yes.
wave at Cole, just, what's
Yes.
going on, Kermit? Like,
just
yeah, it
Ricky
would be great.
Henderson himself all the way around. He would take his time.
Yeah.
He'd spin around the bases.
Well, actually, here's what's interesting. Garrett Cole gave up 33 home runs in 2019 in his last year with the Astros. He gave up 18 in 2020 in the shortened season with the Yankees, and he gave up 26 last year.
He gives up that many home runs, and they gave him enough money to where he doesn't have to worry about getting guacamole at Chipotle. That's insane.
I mean, he is on average. He is overall a good pitcher, but yeah, that's crazy. Now we're gonna get into the fastest home run shot for the pitchers. The Red Sox have one in the top 5. I won't say who it is. We'll get to that later. Number 1 is Carlos Estevez from the Rockies at 21.7 seconds. We're gonna skip who's second because that's with the Red Sox. We'll save that for last. Tied for third is 3 players: Will Crowe from the Pirates, Keenan Middleton from the Diamondbacks, and Tony Gonsolin from the Dodgers. They are all at 22 seconds.
All right, so is it a reliever or a starter?
For the Red Sox player, it is a reliever. The average home run shot time against is 21.9 seconds.
I'm going Whitlock.
Yeah, Whitlock.
Nope.
Wow.
You're not going to like this name when I bring it up.
Barnes.
No.
Oh. Sawamura?
No.
I'm not going to like the name.
All right, who else do I hate?
Hawk?
No.
No.
Not on the team anymore.
I can't.
Oh,
Diekman.
No.
No.
Even though I wish Diekman had a long average home run shot against.
Yeah, he deserves it.
You want me to say?
Go for it.
Hansel Robles.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot he was on the team.
so did I.
Well, he's not on the team anymore.
Holy crap.
Yeah. We need to put a rating to these Thursday night shows because they're ugly.
Like when Robles pitched. That's what you're
That's what I'm referring to. Oh, I'm not referring to us. I think we're great. We just bring out some ugly shit.
All right. So that's the kind of the home run shot next. Next time I will share what we're doing next time for Stats and Shats. Next episode of the Off the Monstah podcast will be no doubter percentage. What percentage of your home runs would have been home runs in all 30 ballparks?
So you're talking about top 5, like, I'll just say Judge has got to be up there somewhere.
Right. He's probably
right. We'll talk about it now. Stats, you don't have to tell us anything.
But... Oh, no, Aaron Judge isn't in the top 10.
Wow.
Now that's a lead. We're not going
to cheat, right, Jeremy?
We're not going to cheat.
I will give a heads up. Aaron Judge is at number 36.
Wow. I would never have thought that.
He's at number 36 with a 57.9% no doubter rate.
Wow.
So 57.9% of his home runs have been no doubters.
Yeah. Who do the Sox get going into the weekend? Are they back in Baltimore?
No, they're going to I think they're playing Kansas City.
So you're saying got a chance.
They're playing the Royals in Boston.
Well, Winkowski's pitching, I think.
Okay. All right. I'll put it this way: we get swept by the Royals. I'm as Bill Belichick would say, I'm on.
One of those 3 days the NFL's on, so we get the Patriots.
And one day it's college football.
Thank you. That's even more important. Auburn, Penn State. I got Penn State.
I will throw this out there because here's a little stat for me because I'm all into stats. Not really, but baseball is so weird like this. The Chicago Cubs won tonight against the Mets. They swept the New York Mets in a 3-game series. It is the only time this season the Mets have been swept in a 3-game series. This is what can happen in baseball. But I will say this again. If we get swept by the Royals, I can't watch anymore. That's just inexcusable. It's inexcusable.
To be fair, I think we lost 3 out of 4 in Kansas City earlier this year.
I will be on this podcast, but you will not see this face. I will break out the bag.
The bags will go on our
The
head.
bag is right over there, and I will get it.
All right. Well, hopefully the Red Sox don't get swept. But hey, if that means we get a better draft pick at the end of the day, we're not making the playoffs. So who cares? Let's look for the positives this season.
My guy is Wong. Wong? Is it Wong? Who's the
Connor
catcher?
Wong. Connor Wong.
That's my MVP for this weekend.
There you go. I'm gonna go Cassis. He's gonna hit 2 over the Monstah.
I wanted to go Cassis, but that was too easy.
I'm gonna stick with my MVP from last time. Brian Bayo, the unluckiest pitcher in the history of baseball, only gets killed by soft contact and defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got some bad defense.
Tension. Boom. Did you hear that?
All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Thanks for tuning in off the Monstah. For Mr. Brown and Jeremy, I'm Derek.
Thank you, everybody. Continue to
And
look us up on social media. Don't forget
and we'll
to
see you
to
next
spade
time.
neuter your pets.